But what's the biggest benefit that you feel that you get from touring with Dave Chappelle?
The biggest benefit is just seeing the game on that level.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I done traveled, like before I even ever got on tour with him, I had hit 40 something of the states, maybe 44 of the states, and been out of overseas a bunch of times. But it ain't never like going somewhere with him is different than going by yourself.
Yes.
Like by far. It's like I'm from Connecticut. I done been to Boston a million times.
Yeah.
I go to Boston with him, I look out my hotel room, I see a part of Boston I never seen before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just you just doing it on that A level.
There's more to love than making love, baby. There's more to love than making love.
What's funny comedy?
Yo, you not in our lane, so quit acting like we rockin' the same. What's funny comedy podcast? Are you not entertained? It's time to man up. My live people, put your hands up. From improvisations to stand up, we band up. These haters overheated. We going undefeated. Sit downs and live interviews. It's what the culture needed. A new monopoly for black comedy.
Ladies and gentlemen, comedy lovers, laughaholics, meme scrollers, welcome back. You're tuning in to What's Funny Today. And if you're just tuning in, y'all, this is season 3. This is a place where we provide the latest in laughs, urban comedy, on stage, behind the scene, content, a little bit of chaos. But hey, it's all in the name of the love of comedy, y'all. I'm Mindy B. I'm in the whole seat, y'all, on behalf of What's Funny Today. Gratitude for liking, following, subscribing. I'm going to give y'all the details on how to stay tapped in at the end of this show, but it's time to hit the volume, turn it all the way up, because our guest is here for a long time, a good time, not a long time, all right? Mm-hmm. So as always, we do a quick round horn. We got the Godfather over there of the What's Funny brand.
Graduating season
like
by
that?
season.
All right, I'm gonna say the new Raymond Lambert of the comedy streets. How about that?
I take that.
2 years in a row, What's Funny Comedy Festival.
Indeed.
Also 3 seasons of What's Funny Today, y'all. That's KB, Knowledge Beckham.
Appreciate it, Mindy B. Glad to see you in the whole seat today.
Me too. Appreciate you. And we have the raw, the funny, the hilarious, the beautiful, the talented resident comic, Don B. Funny, because Don B. Funny is in the building.
Don B. in the building. Welcome, Don.
Hey.
Welcome, Don. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Indeed.
West side or the south side? Let them know for the one time, Don.
South side.
Hey,
87th
South side.
Street.
Girl. And here at What's Funny Today, y'all, we may give you the names that you know, but it's most importantly about the names that you don't know, because we coming all the way from Hartford, Connecticut to touring with Dave Chappelle and Donnell Rollins. And when he grabbed that writer's pen, the rest was history. Now, you may get around, you may visit Haiti, the Dominican, and you may see this guy on tour there, right?
Oh, yeah.
His own comedy album. Y'all, we pressing gas because Marshall Brandon is in the building today, y'all.
Yes, sir. Welcome, good brother. Welcome, good brother.
What's up, y'all?
Appreciate
Let's
you
go.
falling through.
Oh, it's my pleasure,
Shy
man. Thank
City.
y'all for having me. It's
Yes,
an
sir.
honor. It's an honor to be here.
Honor
Yes,
for us,
sir.
too. We got a great show in line. We're going to be discussing the 3 T's, y'all. Timing, trust, maybe a little tension. But I always like to start with a little fun fact. You know, I seen your website and the album and you touring, you know what I'm saying? But you got a whole bachelor's.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Criminal justice?
Criminal justice, yeah.
You supposed to be fighting crime.
Yeah, it just didn't work out like that.
Man, we got a whole hour. I know Knowledge is excited about this show, but just give us a little snippet, man. What went on? What was that switch when you was in them books that you decided that the medicine that we needed was laughter?
Actually, like, college was the first place I ever got to see a live comedy show.
Okay.
And then they had a contest for the students. And when I got up there, I was like, oh, I'm gonna enter this contest. And when I got up there, I just wrote down a couple of things I was gonna talk about. But it felt like when you take a test, you'd be like, man, if I'd have studied a little bit, I would have got an A on this. And that's how I felt. And I was like, man, this is what I'm doing. And I was planning on going to law school, but I got my daughter's mother pregnant my senior year. Okay. And so it was like I had to go to work anyway. So I was like, I'm gonna do this comedy thing. So when I got out of school, I just kept getting on stage every time as much as I could until I till it became worth something.
Hit the ground running.
Yeah.
Did you get a first gig, and then did comedy at nighttime, or you just went straight in?
Oh no! I did. I got a job. I got a job selling insurance.
Okay.
'Cause I'm from Connecticut. You know, that's the
yeah,
capital.
yeah, for sure.
Insurance capital. So I got a job doing that and was selling insurance for about 3 years.
Wow.
And then got laid off from that job, and I was just like, I ain't going back to work.
Running. How many years in are you right now? Comedy?
28.
Damn, 28.
Years.
28.
Tell me the real reason you studied criminal justice.
What's the real reason?
To keep yourself out of trouble.
Yeah.
I'm gonna know the law.
And Don B, how about you? How did you first hit the microphone?
Well, first hit the microphone. I just said, see, I always loved comedy.
Okay.
When I was young, all I watched was Three Stooges, I Love Lucy, and Get Smart.
Okay.
She kept talking about, she is my mother, Sesame Street. I'm like, the Muppets, puppets, whatever they are. Son, I want to see
Get
something.
Smart.
Get Smart.
Yeah,
Come on,
yeah,
that was
yeah.
good TV.
I'm on that.
And I thought you had to be Lucille Ball. Like, I just wanted to be funny. And Miss Hannah, my godmother, showed me Eddie Murphy's Delirious.
Oh, wow.
I was like 8.
Yeah.
I was like, yo. Yo. My brother was sitting behind me on the couch. I'm like, yo, so you see this? I'm doing this. And then I would always go to comedy shows. I was on dates, comedy shows, and I learned everybody's set. And then I said, I'm going up. And I went up at Joey G's. Mark Simmons was hosting.
What year is this?
Jesus Christ. 99?
Okay.
Maybe 98?
Okay, got it. So you
It was
early
about 90.
20s, okay.
Oh, yeah, I was definitely. Wait a minute. How old do you think I am?
Same age, same age as me.
I am.
You look good.
I was 10 when I started. Yeah, I was definitely early 20s. I was on 1450 AM, The Real Deal. I was on WVON. I was doing sketch comedy. And it was just a natural rollout. Until I got booed at Riddles, December 16th, 2000.
Damn.
I was on Suicide Watch for about 2 days. And then I came back.
So check it. So normally our resident comic, Sean Morgan's in this seat. Shout out to Sean. Sean broke his foot. So quick recovery, brother.
What up, Sean Morgan?
But I thought it would be dope since we had Marshall appearing today as our guest. I'm like, well, they beat up the road together.
Oh,
so,
yeah. I know Don a lot of years.
Yeah,
man.
so
I moved to New York, and that's when we...
Marshall, why don't you that glorious day that you met Don? Why don't you tell us about that day and what you thought?
Yeah, I was fishing, and I got this pull. Yeah, I got this pull. Like, and it was like this, and I reeled it in, and I thought I got the net. I thought I had caught a fish, but it was. It was Don B. It was, so I just like, she was all muddy. I poured a little water on her, and I was like, oh, that's a person.
Cleaned up.
Dishwashing liquid.
And we've been mans in
Dawn. Was it Dawn dishwashing liquid?
Yeah, but yeah, we was
dope.
it had to be. I remember though. It was Philadelphia. I was on the road with Tony Roberts.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Dawn had, I don't know how long she was living out there, but she knew Tony, and so we had did a show, and I met her there, and she went up on stage, and she was Dawn crazy, you know. Dawn got the energy. Dawn was destroying the stage, and we just from there we just linked up. From there we've been cool ever since. So.
Dope.
Dang, I forgot it. I was living in Philly.
Yeah, because I couldn't think about it at first, and then I was like, "Nah, we met in Philadelphia." Yeah,
You got me with the fishing for real. Like,
oh yeah.
I was like, what?
But yeah, that's
All right. So besides the obvious name drop, Dave Chappelle, that's like everybody's favorite, right?
Yeah, my favorite
right,
too.
KB.
Yeah.
But what's the biggest benefit that you feel that you get from touring with Dave Chappelle?
The biggest benefit is just seeing the game on that level. You know what I mean? Like, I done traveled, like, before I even ever got on tour with him, I had hit 40 something of the states, maybe 44 of the states, and been out of overseas a bunch of times. But it ain't never like going somewhere with him is different than going by yourself.
Yes.
Like by far. It's like I done been I'm from Connecticut. I done been to Boston a million times.
Yeah.
I go to Boston with him. I look out my hotel room. I see a part of Boston I never seen before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, but it's just you just doing it on that A level.
So Don, I know you've done dates with Dave as well. So same question, like what? I get it. It's always good traveling, knowing the money's probably better than having to hit a little chicken circuit room. So that's cool. You're just dealing with some of the top comedians in the game, a great overall show, big audiences, et cetera. But what have you, like, what's kind of one key thing if you had to focus on to say I've taken away from it outside of those things? What's kind of a key thing that you've taken away from kind of that experience?
With David.
Correct.
Well, to be clear.
Yes, David.
Oh, sorry. I always do that. Like, hello, David. He's like, hello, Dawn. But to be clear, I don't go on the road. The only time I did hit the stage with Dave was at his comedy club in Yellow Springs, Ohio.
Okay.
Firehouse.
It's called
YS Firehouse.
YS
Yeah.
Firehouse. So I did those couple of things. However, when he was doing the summer camp during COVID,
Yeah.
that's where I was there and on the premises and running around like a little badass camp kid and figuring it out. And the most joy and the best thing that because Dave was right there and we developed a relationship. Mm-hmm. He's just, I don't know, this dude is like crazy, wild, intelligent piece.
All in one.
Yeah.
And then you sitting there and you want to ask him all the questions that you know because he always drops so many jewels really quick. And just to have a great conversation. I remember one time, this is when because I really toured with Donnell Rawlings.
Yeah.
So we were in DC at the Improv and I was feeling down. My dad passed 7 years ago. And at that point, it had probably been like 5 years, maybe, 4 or 5 years. And he said, "What's wrong with you?" And I was like, "I'm just down. It's weird. I don't feel bad." And Dave, the way he says things, he was like, "Look, I mean, I understand that was your dad, but what I would do is become everything that you loved about him, you become that person." And I'm like, word, son. It was just so dope. He was like, "Well, that's what I would do." I mean, I'm a man. I'm like, I'm a man too. No, I'm not. I'm a woman.
Dave
But-
talking right now.
And it's just that to be labeled the GOAT, like you call him the doctor.
Oh no, I call him General.
General.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just so dope. And no, he's not regular. And he'll tell you in a heartbeat, "You know what? Don't sit on that chair right there. It's broken." I mean, though I'm rich. He's just a dope person.
Yeah.
For sure. So, Marshall, it's two things I definitely want to, bounce off you. Again, my man Sean Morgan's not here, but he's brought it up on a couple previous episodes. I'd love to see what your take is.
Uh-huh.
So the first is, there's two things. So first is about Dave Chappelle. The second is about whether you want to call it opening, touring with people, et cetera. So those are two things I want to talk about. But first, Sean has a premise that my GOAT, saying him, his GOAT, he felt and feels that Dave, he came out, he was nice, but nobody was calling him the GOAT when he kind of hit the stage. Maybe a la kind of a Eddie Murphy, like when he hit Saturday Night Live, we kind of knew like this motherfucker different.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel Dave was that. He felt Dave did his thing. It was cool. Black people wasn't really checking for him like that. Obviously, you get Chappelle's show. You bring it all the way back around. Now he's the GOAT. And so I think there's some credence to it. I don't agree with it per se, but I do understand that thought pattern. I'm assuming he's your GOAT.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then kind of speak to that logical mind of, because I think that that's kind of factual, but how would you speak to that?
Well, for me, it's just coming from how how I look at myself as a comedian, how I look at how I judge comedy and how I look at comedy.
Okay.
And then what I already knew before I got around him was like I knew this much, but then from being around him and seeing him work, seeing him take an hour and it be like, and and just watch him hone it down into like perfection. You know what I'm saying? I never seen nothing like that. And then to see him do that, I've seen him have his hour here and then come back, got a whole nother hour. You know what I mean? It's just, and just watch his process, watching him work and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I don't, it's like, I don't get off into saying, oh, well, when, back here when this happened, he was, it's like, he's always been a top comedian to me, even before I met him. You know what I'm saying? He's always been the one to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, I was doing comedy. I always hoped that I would be on a show and that he would be somewhere and get to see me perform at least. You know what I mean? I never was like, damn, one day I'm gonna end up touring with him or something like that. But I've always held him in high regard. So, and just because of how he puts his jokes together, this dude calls back, like he do stuff that other every special he got calls back on the other specials.
Yeah.
Like you gotta have made this one to make that one. And it's like that. Like he got, his callbacks is crazy. And like he calling back on specials, he calling back things that ain't even punchlines. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's like to watch somebody is like how you be like Floyd Mayweather with the sweet science of boxing. You know what I mean? Like that sweet science of comedy, like I ain't really seen that out of too many.
And it's not to take away from Eddie Murphy is amazing.
Oh,
he no longer does stand up.
Yeah, facts.
And he didn't come out as the GOAT. He had been doing stand up a few years, and he hit Saturday Night Live. I don't understand what you are saying, that just because Black people didn't check for him, that's no less than, you're not less of a GOAT.
Very true. And I'm not gonna do my channel in my inner Sean.
Really, let's call him on Zoom.
I never agree with him completely, but I understand what he's saying and how someone could see it that way. It's just, I'm more under what you're saying. Like if Floyd, he'd be running and before we boxing, the ring's only so big. Right. If you want to go get at him, you go get at him. But motherfuckers don't go get at him. They watch it because he'll pop shot your ass to death and you leave that motherfucker bloody. So no, you're not Tyson. But it's the same thing to me, he talks about kind of maybe the rhythm of Dave's jokes and it's not, every 3-4 seconds. But I'm like, we were just talking about, me and my man, producer of mine, we were just talking about the Mobb Deep album that just came. And I was like, I love how Prodigy will give you 8 bars and none of the shit rhyme.
Yeah.
Like he just, fuck it, I'm just that dope with my shit that I know I'm supposed to rhyme. But and the shit still sound crazy. So it's just like Dave is kind of a scientist.
Yes, great
storyteller. When he's doing what he's doing. And so I appreciate the greatness, and it's kind of my style. Let's talk about this. I brought this up another episode, but we never dug into it because of Sean. That's why I be on Sean ass here.
I put my foot in your ass.
Are there? I believe there is, right? So you got like rock music, like classic rock, whatever the, contemporary, whatever the rock categories are. Are there categories of comedy? And do you all then identify yourself? Like let's call it, if it was just like, social media comedy, that wouldn't necessarily be my lane, right? If I saw that this person's social media comedy, I got to really check them out because now I know I might not get real jokes. I might get characters that they doing, and it just may not be my cup of tea. And where I'm going with this, you have like physical comedians, right? So you think about your Arnez J's or whatever, right? So Martin Lawrence, right? You're gonna get something kind of more physical. But then I go maybe observational comedy, and I go Deion Cole, you know what I'm saying? That sort of thing. Where if you're around Deion, it's not like you laughing all day long. He's just watching, and then he's gonna give you a perspective. Damn, are you in line with my perspective, right? You have more maybe, I don't want to call it intelligent comedy, but now kind of maybe Dave, Chris Rock, that sort of thing. Do you all think like that as comics? And have you thought about what lane you would be in?
I try not to like I have definitely like I definitely know that there's different ways to make people laugh. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's like I know I could go watch a comedian and you know, some of his, you know, his funny might come from how he's moving, what he, you know, it might not be as punchline heavy or as structure heavy, but it's funny. I respect every way that somebody make people laugh.
Same.
I do respect it. You know what I mean? But I probably like to like to be clever. I like to make people think. You know what I'm saying? With my jokes, I like for it to be like, damn, like when somebody like be like, yo, that's a really good joke. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so that's more, but there's definitely, you know, there's definitely a lot of different ways to make people laugh.
Departments. I think one of the biggest ones might be urban versus mainstream type.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm very much. Marshall is also a crossover.
Yep.
Like I just don't stick to N-word rooms.
Yep.
All right. And I mean that's where I started. To be clear, let's be clear now. He gave me my chops and my courage to say things, but then it was also great to go into these comedy clubs and say the same shit to white people.
Right.
Because people in the beginning were like, do you have to change it up? I'm like, nah, I say the same stuff. I did the big booty jokes. I mean, like, I wish I was a big booty girl. And the white girls afterwards like, oh my God, me too. And so I am part of, my style of comedy is, it probably happened to you too, but it happened to me. Like, people in my life like, did you talking about me? I'm like, no. Next week I will, but this happened 5 years ago. And it's just always, you know, it's ongoing things that happens in people's lives. So my point of view is mine.
Right.
And you can't steal my shit because it happened to me.
Happened to you.
And if you tell it, it's not going to be as great.
Right.
In my opinion.
So like let's drive down that lane of styles of comedy off of KB's question. Looking at your social media page, like, and for both of you as well, Don, you answer this. We don't see a lot of the, you know, the clips and entertaining from a social media standpoint, content.
Yeah.
Is that intentional?
Me personally, I like to as far as like I'm not a big like sketch dude, you know what I'm saying? I do want to post like I'm more like a series type, so that like that's more of what I've been working on, and like my social media is kind of what it is, but I just right now I'm just posting what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I would love to have a
which is enough.
Which is exactly.
I love to like be posting more content, definitely.
Okay.
But it's just how it is. Like I'm right now. I'm just posting what I'm doing. You know what I mean? But I definitely have, you know, plans on like, and I'm working on like building my content thing. My cousin always tell me, he's always like, "Cuz you need more content. You gotta create that bucket for people to put the money into." You know what I mean? So it's like I'm definitely headed down that road, but I'm just I'm not going to make us, you know, do a bunch of sketches and stuff like that. That's just not my thing. But I got like some projects that I've written that I'm in the process of headed towards shooting and stuff like that.
That's an interesting perspective. We probably gonna come back to that. Don, what about you?
Girl, please. Social media can take it in the face. Oh, God. Now, what's interesting, or not, I don't know if it's interesting. I'm old school. I'm a middle school comedian. I'm a middle school person in my life. And when social media came out, I was part of MySpace or whatever. I think I posted. I'm not sure. And then I started, like, you know how Facebook gives you 16 years ago, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, I was crazy. And then I got arrested or married, whatever you want to, however you want to put it. And so I was married to a Marine. And at this point, I was a wife, mother, and I was thinking, oh, I got to protect this he's a captain now, whatever. And he's a United States Marine. He works for the United States, and my mouth could get him in trouble. And I thought it was selfless, but it was just goofy to mug. And then I just couldn't get into it. And once I had kids, I became more private.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm like, damn. But you can't be private when you are a public person.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I always struggle with showing what I'm doing. I have so much footage in I don't even show what I'm doing. Like the pictures. In the beginning, I'm like, oh shit, it's gonna be, they gonna feel like I'm showing off. But
Right.
so what? But I had to get in the space and place. And eventually, I've been saying this for the last 10 years. Like even when I was in Japan, I lived in Japan when I took off. I didn't even mean to say that just now. I kind of paused my career I had infants and my mans and them Rawlings used to be like, you need to get on the internet. Son, I'm telling you, get on the internet. And I'm like, what do I do? I don't even know. It just seemed like part of my brain was missing because I had these 2 kids. And I wasn't, it's a reason.
I get it.
I'm not making excuses because now, shit, they app builders and
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just something about it makes me so very nervous to expose myself. And like, I'll put up something. I'll take it down.
See, that's mad interesting because I get it. I have a problem with that even with the podcast. Like I won't really let it be something crazy because it's like, one, I got a brand and I don't want it that bad where you can just do whatever. We just kicking up all type of shit to get clicks.
Right.
But I feel like comedians go on stage and you're way more open about your life, things, etc. So while you're saying that, it's like, damn, if I see Don B live show, no telling what you might say
Exactly.
to somebody live. So I'm like, I don't see how that doesn't necessarily translate to, the social media thing, but staying in that same space.
Mm-hmm.
Kenya, I was talking to LeVar Walker the other day. Shout out to LeVar. He's coming up on a future episode, sitting in our resident comedian seat. But he kind of said, yo, if I was managing somebody right now and a new comic came to me, I'd tell him like, yeah, I don't want to do a LeVar voice, but I ain't good, but do the LeVar voice. But he like, I had that motherfucker do 40 clips a day. Mm-hmm. And it sounds crazy. We ain't talking about quality or nothing. You just have to get this shit working for you.
Yeah.
And so today, can you be, it doesn't even have to be a new comic. Can you be a comedian? You're in a very unique space because of the opportunities and what you're working on, et cetera. But can you be a comedian today and be kind of looking to up level without really using this social media thing?
I always recommend it to young comedians. So I talk about like back in the day, like, years ago, it wouldn't be something that like a piece of advice that you would give. You would just be like, look, just keep getting on stage.
Right.
But now, I'm talking to a younger comedian. It's like I'm gonna mention that because it's like the world has changed into that.
Oh my
God! So
God.
it's like you can't, and that's not what it was when we started.
Right.
But you can't just be like, well, fuck the internet. I ain't, it's like when I talk to young comics, I tell them like, yo, build your internet presence. You know what I mean? And, along with other advice, but that's one of the things I throw in there, definitely.
For sure.
I don't think you can even like, and what comes to mind, like of course, Rawlings, I see him every second on the internet. In Earthquake, some younger people be like, who is that? Yeah. But now, like, Earthquake got his, he's just he's on the internet. And at that point, when you're in that position, you can just pay people to do it for you.
Right.
Like Dave don't do internet at all.
No.
He'll be on scrolling possibly, but he does not. You won't catch him like, yeah, so I'm out here in this whole town that I own.
Yeah.
But so and then I don't know, you see some more. I'm doing old school versus, newer comics.
And keep in mind when I'm saying like so I'm gonna ask you a question, but obviously once you've made it to a level, I feel like it's additive, right? Like a Kevin Hart doesn't need to do it,
right? But
he's super active and it keeps him super relevant and creates more opportunities. Dave absolutely doesn't need to do it. But, Marshall and Don, you can chime on if you have thoughts on this as well. I've always known like most comedians would love to, before they super duper pop, they love to be in your seat. right? I got a national touring headliner comic that I'm working with. Money solid. I know they working. So if I'm down, I'm working, right? And I know what I'm getting per show. And so you got you have financial stability. You kind of know what's coming in, et cetera. You just look at that person's tour. If I'm with them, there it is, right? And that makes life easier. Are you ever worried about, and I've heard it before, but between comedians, that's who you become, right? Sometimes people will, like, I got a jet because I can get in this space. It's super comfortable. You know what I mean? If you look at the Plastic Cup boys, motherfuckers, Miami and them, they living well because they done 10 years of running the world with homie. But if you're ever trying to become Kev, that's going to be really hard if you stay in that seat. Have you thought about that? And what are your thoughts?
I have thought about it, but the whole thing, for me, it's like, honestly, like working with, like when you got like Team Chappelle, that's like something I'll be for life, no matter how.
Gotcha.
No matter how whatever happens. That's something I hold like in my heart for life, just because I've been fortunate enough to have that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? It's something that I always, but really it's like you become what you gonna become. Like you get in these spaces and it's like I feel like it's bringing me there, but then you gotta get what you want on your own.
You gotta pick up.
So it's like if you, it's like I could sit in this space and say, well, I hope to tour with Dave forever, but like to become who I really want to become, it's gonna be on what I create.
No doubt.
And you
for
can
myself.
use that as leverage.
Right. And you use, your position. And it's like the people that that I be in the rooms with now is like are those people. You know what I mean? So then you create what you know what I mean? It's like when you look at different things people create, like Dave created the Chappelle show, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, and not that I want to create a show like that, but it's like you create your own way. You know what I mean? So it's like just being able to tour with these national headliners and the bigger comedians, it just gives you more opportunity to create what you want to create, but you got to create something.
Yeah.
You can't just sit there and be like, well, I'm gonna just tour.
Right.
And you can't
for the
just
rest of my life. You know what I mean?
And you can't really expect them to open the doors for you.
Yeah.
Like, damn, he didn't put me on.
No, they've done enough.
That comes in too. And it just speaks like to Kevin Hart. You say he doesn't need the internet, but what he's doing is brilliant. Now, my 9 and 12-year-old know who Kevin Hart is.
For sure.
He's sitting with guys in that. I'm like, that was brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so to Marshall's point, it's about what you want to create.
That's powerful.
So let's say right now, Don, there was a situation, Marshall invited you into the room, them people there that can make things move. Oftentimes I wonder with comedians, right? Like, especially those that do this full time, if you walked into that room, do you have shit to give them? Right? Like, meaning like, fuck it, the lights are on, they shining like this, and you get to sit down. Do you have a couple shows? Do you have a movie script? Do you have those things? And I often ask comics, do you have that? Right? You want somebody, quote unquote, put you on. They can't give you that and the whole playbook, to Marshall's point. And so yeah, would you be prepared tomorrow if the meetings of all meetings happened? And if you don't, I don't think a lot of comedians do. Why not?
You sound like Donnell.
I sound like knowledge. Oh, okay.
Knowledge.
And shouts out to Donnell Robbins.
Yeah, shout out to
And
Donnell Robbins.
And I do keep bringing up Lawlene's name because that's my bro, and I have been on the road with him for 17 years, off and on, more on than off, whatever. And he says a thing. That's how I'm Team Rawlings. That's how I got to Team Chappelle.
Right.
To just run amok and stay ready. You don't have to get ready. Now, if I came to the room and it's lights, camera, action, when I hit the stage,
Not the stage.
I got it.
Okay.
Will they say, if they say to me, I need you to do this project, I have this role for you? Yes. Do I have a whole script written out? No, not a whole script. but I have a couple of script ideas. I could say, this is what I'm thinking of.
Gotcha.
I can't pull out a whole book, which, why not? I just don't. And there's no excuses. And at first, I can honestly say, I was scared of stardom.
Okay.
Shit.
That's fair.
Because I've been in,
It's rough on me, so I know it.
To sit in the rooms of, so before I left this America and before I was married and had my kids, I was the whole shit of the whole night. Next up to bat. And I was like, I was so scared. But then I got married and had the kids. And then I realized my story wasn't finished. There's only so long you could talk about single, sexy, free, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Now I got layers and I can adjust and understand. I got kids, I got divorced, I got married, I got my whole years. All the great things in life.
Yeah.
So, and if my mind and space wasn't right, like it just wasn't the time. So now to grasp and to completely answer your question, I will. And I was just talking to Marshall not too long ago. He was like, Dawn, you got to call me. I'll help you write it.
Right.
Right. Robert Montague says the same thing. And why I haven't done it, Scary Larry. And also, it's different when you got little kids, man.
No doubt.
Jesus Christ.
No doubt.
But it's really, that's no excuse. So, I mean, next time I sit here, I'm going to have a whole script.
Stay ready so you don't have
I definitely got projects, stuff like that. Like I could sit in a meeting right now and pitch my project.
There you go. You go.
So listening to both of y'all, and I know we got to kind of move on from content, but I do want to know, y'all, listening to y'all, apparently y'all are both open to the new wave of social media content, and that's real dope. But like, we do want to know if you are viral, not as funny, get booked. Does that bother you?
Nah, not at all.
Okay.
Because I don't care what it takes something about a person to attract people to them. And if it ain't what I do, if it's something or that somebody might look at it and say, oh, that's silly or whatever that person does to get themselves where they are, that's good for them. You know what I mean? I ain't never gonna be like, oh, well, he ain't funny on it. Like, if you got people in them seats, have at it. I don't have no, it's like I'm not bothered by nobody else's.
You understand the game.
Things.
I don't, okay, so here's the thing. They created the platform. Now they going into the building, sign, get your people out. You got mad followers. Good for you. At one point, though, I had a situation, a thought, like, I'm not funny compared to, I don't know, one of those internet people. And I was like, no, let me take that back. Not funny. But because they didn't have the grind, the amount of years and in the belly of the beast, they didn't get the intricate parts of how to get timing and perfect the craft. So the crowd that's watching them thinks that's the standard of comedy. And I'm like, yo, son, A, B, C, D, ha! Like, nah, bro, you got to think about it a little bit more.
Yeah.
But however, they are not my audience.
Right.
So more power to them.
And crowds can change, right? Sometimes we think that the crowd that you may have grew up off of in the 90s, whatever, like, it's almost like if you hoop. You go to New York and hoop, the Madison Square Garden, the audience, like, they really kind of get basketball. You know what I'm saying? They just a real educated crowd on basketball. You go someplace else, maybe not so much, right? They're looking at the game a different way. And so I think sometimes when I talk to seasoned veteran comedians, I feel like you may feel it's going back, but it may never go back. We just may not have really smart audiences anymore. If that's the word we want to use, a smart audience, they may laugh at, because I can look at some of the internet sketches and clips and the shit's not funny to me. But maybe as a 50-year-old dude, the shit ain't really supposed to be that funny to me, right?
For you.
So people ask me, a 26, 27-year-old rapper I'm like, they'd have to be saying some shit. 'Cause I grew up off Nas, Rakim, so I can't knock them.
Word.
That's just,
It's just not my cup of
it's
tea.
just not going to be my cup of tea. But then if I'm still playing in that space, I even want to say we got the cameras on right here. We didn't jumped over traditionally. If we sat down like this, it'd have to be green lit by a studio and this, that.
Word.
But nah, we going live in a couple weeks and this will be out.
Yeah.
So that's going to continue to happen with technology moving forward. I just sometimes it's tough because I've been in the space and been around so many of you all. Like the shit's changed, and there's a pushback to that change, and I'm like, that's really not the way to move forward successfully.
Oh, you could be Fred Flintstone if you want to. You
Correct.
gotta move with
Gotta
this.
move
You
with the
have
times,
to,
yeah.
absolutely. And in my crowd grew up with me.
Right.
When I was talking about my whole years and and getting off these streets, they was like, word, me too. And then they got off the streets too. And then they had kids too.
Right.
And like I was like, damn, y'all got old too. And it was a point in my 20s where I decided to stop doing colleges. I said, shit, I'm getting too old for these kids because they turn politically correct on me in a second. They'd be like, yeah. Oh, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. Mm-mm. I'm like, oh, God, I can't. And I remember one time I did a college, Rashid was alive.
Oh.
Rashid Thurman, y'all know Ra.
Yeah.
We was upstate New York somewhere, and I got off the stage like, oh, shit. And I felt sick. Like, I was like, Rashid said, oh, shit, Don B. That's what bombing do. Make you sick. Like, yo. And this is the last college I was like.
All right, so listen to y'all. Like, I love your question, KB, about the projects. Like, because we talked about this on the pod before, where comedians say, reach back, right?
Yeah.
They in a position where somebody or you specifically reach back for you. You was ready, right? You was on go. Reach back. If you ain't ready, you can't just tour. You gotta have it ready.
Right.
So when you ready and you got a project, let's talk about that saying, closed mouths don't get fed. Do you ask? Do you say, yo, Dave, like, or because you stay ready and Dave know you on go, it's just automatic.
If I like whatever I have, I could give to Dave. Like we could talk about it.
Yeah, I had that
I don't ask him for anything though.
Okay.
So it's like I'm not going. Like I don't go to him and say, Dave, could you do this or whatever. But whatever projects I have, hey man, would you mind taking a look at this?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I'd like to get your opinion on this right here. So it's like I'm not like, hey Dave, could you set up a meeting for me with Paramount? You know what I mean? Like, no, I'm not. It's like, but all of that stuff, it happens how it's supposed to. You know what I mean? And then it's like when you meet these people, like I met, like you develop a relationship with the people that be around. Mm-hmm. So it's like you don't necessarily have to go and say, hey, Dave, could you talk to this person for me? If you done been around them enough and you know that person, you can talk to them, about your projects and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, within, you can't just...
Right, you don't just go trying to, you don't go crazy.
Excuse
like
me,
that.
hey, you run Live Nation, right? Let me...
So
Right.
Don, you would say you walk light, respect,
Chain of command.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a chain
There
of
you go.
command
Yeah,
that you want to
absolutely.
respect.
I mean, but you get taught that, like, and that's the part of being in the game. Study, look, learn, listen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And I know we didn't bring the internet comedians up again, but they didn't see that part. We've been on a grind, kid.
Right.
It was times where I hit up 3-4 joints in one night.
Right, for sure.
Jesus Christ, how did I do it? But it's just a different appreciation to it. Like, even like the younger comics now, I used to try to, but because I only got 6 followers on Instagram, it's not like I don't know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Now, when I tell you I know the comedy game, I know comedy. I love comedy. And what's my plan B? That's just a pill to stop me from being pregnant. I have no plan B. I got it. Plan A's only. I'm a comedian. I'm gonna be a comedian.
So Marshall, to piggyback kind of what Mindy said, so let's talk the future, right? So you had one of those projects. Dave's like, I love this. Man, let's I'm going to talk to so-and-so, it gets green lit, you move forward. What's your responsibility? What's your, responsibility? Does Don B have to be booked? Or Don B need to be a part of that project? Some of the other cats before you were Team Chappelle and grinded with, what do you owe them? Do you owe them? Do you owe it more to the project to be the best it could be? Like, talk about that a little bit, because we've had that conversation, and I've heard one that I won't speak on. I don't know, some people caught it, missed it. And it was, I thought I heard that somebody was rocking with somebody super tough and they didn't go. And the way that they didn't, it's like, damn, that's tough, right? Like if the podcast blows and there's no more Mindy and there's no more Mon, damn, Knowledge, I get it. I get other people can be in the seat and there's strategic reasons to do it, but damn. You know what I'm saying? I would think that the motherfuckers killing me in Chicago, you know what I'm saying, in terms of how they feel. So what's your responsibility if you go? Is there one?
I don't feel like, why you looking at me like that, though? You definitely ain't gonna be in shit. No, I'm just playing. But no, look, I don't feel like anybody in this game, right?
Yep.
I don't feel like anybody owes anybody anything. Like I've never looked at one single comedian and been like, man, he owe, or he should have did this for me, or he, you know, and at no time, right? Me, I go. I'm definitely trying to help as many of my people as I can. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I'm not going to sacrifice the integrity of any project I have to stick somebody somewhere where they don't belong, or like
just because they're your friend.
Right. I'm going to put the best people in the best places, but I'm going to try to find good places for my people. Okay. With, you know, I'm but I don't feel like anybody owes anybody anything, but I definitely like look forward to being in a space to where I could get some of my homies like over that hump, you know what I mean?
For sure.
Because they might not be, I know I will be. But sometimes when you have a project that and I have a few brothers in the comedy game.
Yeah.
But they might not fit the profile.
Who are your brothers in the comedy game?
Marshall Brandon.
Yep.
Donnell Rawlings.
Yep.
John Laster.
Yep.
You know, Marlon Randolph.
Yeah. Okay.
Yo, those are my bros, man. Dave. Dave is my newfound bro. Charlie Murphy was my brother. Rest in peace, Chuck. And so I'm in a position right now where it's hard to even have friends now, 2025. I don't.
Okay.
Like here in my own town. That's why I be on his phone at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Like, Marshall, what you think about this? And he'll pick up every single time. Because we not a weird place in the comedy world, but, you know, we're not celebrities and we're not Rudy Poots.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So, I mean, I have more brothers in New York than I do, but close right now than I can call on. It's just those few. Yeah.
How difficult is that, Don? Like, I feel like, to your point of like, we're in this space, like really your brand is your brand. And if you have certain things that you've done, your resume, but it's just, Mindy talked about it on What's Funny Comedy Conversations, right? Like Earthquake talking about you got to update your resume, et cetera. And new comics don't necessarily know Don B from over these years and these credentials that you put on this resume. How frustrating is that? And then so that's the comedians, but then the audience kind of don't really recognize the G in you either. Like, it would be very difficult for me to operate in that space because you're not really getting loved like you probably should from either space, but that's the space we in right now, I feel.
Yeah. Fuck the comedians.
Okay.
I'd say that respectfully.
Okay.
Because that has stagnated me and kept me in a miserable place. And it started when I came back to Chicago in 2019. And I say F them because they not the ones I'm trying to impress.
Yeah.
And the audience, once I hit the stage and grab the mic, they love me.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm a road comic because some comics here be like, where you been? You know.
What does a road comic mean for our audience that are just viewers, et cetera? What does that mean?
I travel.
Okay.
I travel. I go do comedy clubs and real comedy shows. And it was real harsh for me to say, fuck the comedians.
Yeah.
It was tough, man. It was tough. It is so tough because they judge. My name preceded me. Like, people even bowed when we did the comedy festival.
Yeah.
They was like, oh, Don B. And I'm like, damn, word. And I lost the sense of that. I forgot.
Right.
Because of what I was going through. But, I mean, it's just a matter of time. What's meant what's meant for me is meant for me. Mm-hmm. And is it frustrating? But when I'm on that road, honey, them audience be like, word!
Yeah.
And then I always be like, damn, I forgot to say follow Don B. Funny. And I'm awful at that.
Got the content.
Just get a QR code. Just have people scan it real quick. Da-da-da.
Yeah.
But it is, and there's so many people who be like, oh yeah, I support you, even in Chicago. But my room don't be packed every Tuesday. It be packed, but it's not my people.
Yeah.
But then I gain new fans.
Right.
So 4 years ago, if you would have asked me that, I'd have cussed everybody out. Because I was placing the blame. But my accountability is I can't be frustrated if I don't do anything about it. So
No doubt.
I'm
No
working.
doubt. Marshall, let's get some insight before I know we got to get out of here.
Why?
You've because you got something to do tonight.
Fuck that show, yo. I know.
So Marshall, give us some. So obviously we know that your team Chappelle today, but that's not the only kind of national touring headliners you've been out there with. Give us shout out some of those comedians that you've actually kind of done some significant dates with.
First comedian ever take me on the road was Tony Roberts.
Okay.
We ended up in Germany together, and that was my first time going to Germany. And he so I told him, you got your talent from New York, Talent Harris. You got Rob Stapleton, who at a point puts like a lot of money in my pocket from being, like elevated my
Shout
game.
out to Rob,
you know what I mean? You got and Donnell Rollins. I toured with Donnell. When Dawn went to Japan, when he got married, I ended up on the road with Donnell after that. You know what I'm saying? So and Donnell pretty much was a catalyst, in changing my life. You know what I'm saying? So it's those are mainly. I don't want to forget nobody.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking those are the main comedians that I would say, as far as working and being on the road, like definitely Tony Roberts, Rob Stapleton, and for sure Donnell Rollins.
So following up with what Mindy B said in terms of closed mouths don't get fed. Again, and a lot of comedians that are looking to maybe take the next step, right? They see that maybe before quote unquote blowing up and becoming the biggest name in comedy. Generally, that's the steps, right? There's so many benefits that you get from that. Is that a just it happens things? Is that just because I was a dope comedian and I got saw, or was it I do have to open my mouth, ask, hey, how does that give us how it happened for you? Because I know that people listening to this are like, man, I would love to get there, but I don't know how to per se or what that looks like.
I ain't never go ask nobody like, oh, could I it happened. I got like when I ended up on the road with Donnell, I got hit up by Jason who works with him, and he. I don't even know. You might have said something too.
Oh, because
Because you might have said something too.
Because he was trying to find somebody else to open.
Right.
He was like, man, who? And we went through a couple names, and I'm like, Marshall Brandon. And he was like, fuck yeah. Hell yeah. Because he had seen him. And he knows.
Yeah, I knew Donnell for years. Like,
and he knew he was cold. And he knows he writes. He did that 10 crack commandments. 10
comic commandments.
10 comic commandments.
Yeah, that was a while back.
Yeah, but that's how long, you know what I'm saying? It's all of the above.
Right.
If you see a headline, you would love to open because that would be your steady money. And you get to go into the comedy clubs, and those crowds are amazing. So you asked. I mean, Rawlings started taking. He took me off talent because I would always go to his room.
Mm-hmm.
I did Faison Love. I went out with Faison Love for a while, and I met him. What's the app where people would just be talking? Treehouse or something?
Clubhouse, yeah.
And it was right when Charlie Murphy had passed. And Faison was trying to roast me in the Charlie Murphy rest in peace room.
No.
And I'm like, nigga, take me on the road then. Do it for Charlie. And shit, as soon as we hung up, Rich Murphy was calling me like, Faison said. And I had mad dates.
That's an open mouth. I got you.
And then I didn't ask to go on the road with Charlie Murphy, but Charlie had asked Donnell one time, I need a female comedian, I'm going to London. And Chuck said no. But then he was in Chicago one time when I was visiting at the Chicago Improv. And I said, I'm going up there.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, give me 5 minutes. And he gave me 5 minutes. And he was like, he asked me to stay for the weekend. And I was like, oh shit, I'm supposed to go back tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I called Donnell. He was like, if that was me, I would stay. And I'm like, pay me, help me. And he had Jason Steinberg switch my ticket. And then Charlie was like, damn, Nelson told me to take you and I didn't. Now I wish I would have. You can roll with me. Him and Freeze Love. So closed mouths don't get fed.
Well,
I don't know if I would ask. I didn't ask. They asked. Because Charlie told DL to take me.
But you told Faison, give me some dates, nigga.
Yeah, like you
So you did open your mouth and ask. But it's cool.
Yeah.
I like the duality, but finish up in terms of how yours came about.
Sorry.
Then and so I got hit up. Donnell, we went on a date, out on a tour date, and we was just eating lunch, and he was like, "Yo, son, just look at the calendar, see whatever dates you want to do," and so then that's how I ended up on the road with him.
Damn.
Like
that one.
Yeah, and I think just kind of moving through the game, and I always try to just certain things. I try to treat people how I want to be treated.
Okay.
I try to. I recognize that if I'm in a space where going on a road with somebody and it's their show, then it's their show. You know what I'm saying? So I don't try to make it about me. I try to keep my head and my heart in the right place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like comedians like Rob Stapleton started. He took me on because he'd be like, yo, Marshall, he's like, yo, you cool. He like, we driving 6 hours to do a show in DC. So he like, man, I can't even sit in the car with half of these comedians. You know what I mean? He like, yo, just come do these shows with me. You cool, bro. Like, you know what I mean? And that's how that happened. But it's like I never I went out to Ohio from being on the road with Donnell and during the pandemic. And I got out there and he was like, and so I went out for the weekend and it seemed like some bunch of crazy stuff was going on. I went out, I got ready to leave. Donnell was like, nah, son, don't leave. I'll pay for your hotel. He put me in a hotel. Then the next day I'm getting ready to leave. He like, nah, don't leave again. I'll pay for your hotel. I said, well, give me the money because I go stay in this Motel 6 for 3 days.
With this going down.
And 3 days into that, 2 days in that 3 days, I was like, because I had drove out there with my lady, and I'm like, yo, why go home? So I stayed in Ohio for 3 months.
Yellow Springs.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, Yellow Springs. They was doing the shows out there. I wasn't on the shows or nothing.
Right.
And I didn't ask once to be on the show.
That's when he was doing the
You know what I
cornfields.
mean? Yeah.
Dave Chappelle.
And then when the pandemic, when they had a COVID outbreak, they had to shut the shows down. They went down to Texas. Donnell hit me like, yo, son, I think you should come to Texas. I get down to Texas. And so now I kind of know everybody because I've been around everybody for 3 months straight.
Right.
And they was like, yo, we're gonna move you over to this hotel. And then Syph and Will was hosting the shows for Dave and Joe Rogan and them at Stubbs. And they went and did a podcast and got exposed to COVID. And they had to go quarantine. And Donnell was like, yo, let Marshall open the show. You know what I mean? And it was people there like the photographer, Matthew B. Tone. He had been around me all that time. Didn't even know I was a comedian. He was like, whoa, let him open the show for what? You know?
Right.
And but I opened the show. Dave liked me, and I've been with him since then. But while I was out there them whole 3 months, I went to 40 shows. And I respected, it was every top comedian, Chris Cav, all of them, Jon Stewart, everybody came through there. So it's like I know I'm funny, but
Right.
but you know that there's levels to, you know,
Right.
when it comes to that status. So as bad as you want to get on stage, you know that just being there,
Bad.
being there, you watching a master class every night. So you just, you know, it's like, but I wasn't running around like, yo, I need to get on stage. I just,
Yeah, that was the quickest way to get booted from that show.
right, yeah. It's asking like, so, because you know that, like, and for what was going on there, you know that it's like, if you there in whatever capacity, it was a good thing.
It's a good
And
thing.
it wasn't many.
No,
It was no comedians there.
Yeah, it wasn't hardly no comedians there.
It was like
it was us.
and me. It was me and
It was
Marshall.
like it was a couple other comedians there for a little while, but it was just like we was there like intensely for like
It was
the
some
whole
hitters.
time.
Ali Wong. Oh my God, it was so.
Yeah, it was dope. Like day in and day out, seeing the comedians that was coming in. and
Master
doing that
class.
show.
That's that's awesome way to.
Ain't he
it was
dropping
master
some
classes.
gems? Dropping some gems. Oh, man, we out of time, man. I didn't even get to touch on your writing pen, man. But I do, if you got 2 minutes, because I know we there and y'all got to get out 2 minutes just about your comedy album, right? Drop something like, because that's the first for me, like a comedy album. What does that entail?
It's really
Real quick before you go.
I was down in Atlanta. Gary, who owns the Atlanta Comedy Theater. I was down there. That's when I was working with Donnell, and the opportunity came up for me to record my album while I was there. And so, that wasn't smart.
It's done.
And
Gotta
then
make sure she on time
I was
tonight.
trying to see how long it's taking us to get the rhythm. That's all.
I know. And then, but yeah, I had the opportunity to record that, and the good thing about it is he has pull to get placement and stuff like that. So it was like I always wanted to do when the opportunity came. So I did that one, and then working with Jed Curtis and Bob Sumner and
Come on now.
South Jersey. Jed had the whole setup, and I can't think of my man that was a sound guy, but he recorded the other 2 albums I got. So
Yeah.
and then I just and then he posted them for me. So
Man, that's dope. Man,
Marshall Cole. Marshall Cole. them
Marshall
sketches,
Cole,
them elf skits. Oh my
out of
God.
work elf.
man, we really appreciate you stopping through, man.
Oh,
We
man,
know
it's
you
my
could be
pleasure,
in
man. Thank
Dominican,
y'all.
you could be in Haiti, all those things. Don B, we appreciate you stepping up to the plate, and you did a phenomenal job. I know
Thank you, Queen.
she's gonna definitely
Always.
be back. But listen, man, we want to make sure y'all following the page at What's Funny Today Show. Listen, we appreciate the likes, the comments, the interactions. If you see a post that you like, share it. Tell a friend so that they can also subscribe to the full YouTube page at What's Funny Comedy. We look forward to interacting with y'all. Until next time, Mindy B, peace out.
Peace.